It's about live. Hi. All right. Hello, welcome to our first live for BrewIN Tea Festival. This is only a pre-opening session, so we'll be very casual. And I think the main purpose for this session is to test out the technology because this is our first time trying to put together a tea festival online. And excuse me for my kettle, making noise at the back. So, but it should be boiled soon. Tonight, Amanda, feel free to jump in anytime. Tonight, we are going to cover three things here. So the pre-opening party one is to introduce us to you as an event organizer for BrewIN Tea Festival, and also tell you a little bit about the Brewing Festival we did in Melbourne in 2019, and also the original founder in Brisbane, and then tell you what's our plan for brewing online now. So Amanda, can you introduce yourself to our audience? At the moment, there's 3 people watching.
Hi everyone, I'm Amanda. I fell down the rabbit hole for loving tea a few years ago. I traveled to Canada and did some tea learning over there with a tea teacher. I came over and had a small tea hobby business because I just enjoy learning about tea and drinking tea basically. And now currently I get roped into things like this with Kai
Yes.
Shan, and I'm also
I forced
her. And I'm also the Victorian Regional Ambassador for AUSTIX, the Australian Cultural Tea Society. So that's me. I just enjoy learning about tea, pretty much, plain and simple.
Yes. So yeah, I do want to thank Amanda in helping me to create this because it is, I think that I had make it bigger than I thought. So I wouldn't have make it without Amanda's help. So thank you so much. I just want to say that, on camera so everybody knows. For myself, sometimes I lost track. I have a lot of different versions of bio. I lost track in how to describe myself as a tea person. So firstly, in Chinese, we call ourselves 茶人, means, a person for tea. And I think that I've always had tea in my life because my father's also a tea enthusiast. And he has a whole wall of a Yixing teapot back at home. If you follow my Instagram, you would have seen that. So I think that he just slowly groomed me into falling into the tea rabbit hole. And and then I started to sell his tea because he decided to have his own brand in China. And then I have found that, okay, learning about one tea is not enough. And I expand into a lot of other tea. And then I take tea courses. I follow different tea master. And I don't want to dedicate myself into one school of, tea, I would say, because I like to, interpret things, and find out on myself what tea is. And it's in every aspect of my life. I think that, tea is my, career for life. So as a tea person, I feel like I've said a lot, but I said nothing at all. But yeah, you will be seeing me in the Australian tea scenes, I think, for the rest of my life. So I'm Kai Shan. So also to tell you a little bit about brewing, originally it was founded by Kim Cuppa in Brisbane. And she had ran a few tea festivals in Brisbane first, and then it expanded to Melbourne here. And when Brewing Melbourne was first founded, there were 4 of us. And we had a really, I think, a small but successful event in Collingwood in 2019. Over 200 people came. And yeah, it was a accelerating day. And correct my English if I make a mistake. Yeah, it was such a nice day. And, you know, even when we were packing up, people were not leaving, and they would just like keep, you know, wanting to help and keep wanting to stay behind and brew. And we didn't do anything in 2020 for obvious reasons. And then now I feel like that we should pick it up again. So we are moving it online now because we couldn't do anything offline, especially that we are based in Melbourne, and they're like, this is our 6th lockdown now, is it? And this lockdown had gone on, you know, over a month. So it was the right decision to moving it online. And then we faced a lot of challenge, you know, in technology and marketing and things like that. So bear with us, and we welcome advice, you know, ideas, and yeah, and that's where we are now. And Amanda, do you want to tell our audience a little bit about our plan this year for brewing online?
Sure, I'd love to. How about we play a little summary video first, and then I will delve into it. Yes?
Good idea.
Okay, here we go.
Great.
So, as you saw on our little video, we've got lots of exciting things coming up for BrewIN in 2021. The first is our BrewIN TeaVee sessions, where we get to have live brewing sessions. We have a huge amount of trusted vendors that we're going to showcase to you twice a week, on a Thursday evening and a Saturday afternoon. And each of them, we give them the opportunity to showcase a few of their favorite teas and some brewing tips and any of their very extensive knowledge in their field of tea. We also have 2 full days of workshops, and that cover a range of different topics. Tea and health is the first topic. We have 2 sessions on that. We also have tea and food, and we also visit some tea regions, Uji and Yunnan, and also we delve into the art of brewing. Kaishan, would you like to elaborate bit on those?
Yeah, sure. So for the tea festival, the plan is to have it two-part, much like our 2019 event in Collingwood. So I consider the first part more like a trade show, and this part is free for anyone to view. And I'm making it more like a TV show. So there are a total of 10 episodes, and each episode is feature a different sort of tea professional. So like, for example, we have Tanya for Taiwanese tea. We have Mina for like handmade tea wares, ceramics, Mina, to show you like some local handmade tea wares. And then we also have Ian from like Tokyo, and he's like the master head in introducing Japanese tea to like abroad. So it would be really interesting talking to Ian, and he's from me. And I'm not going to tell you all 10 episodes, but we will be posting a program up soon. So again, the live is every Thursday 8 o'clock, and then every Saturday 2 o'clock. So please, if you haven't already, follow our page, and then whenever we go on live, you can go watch that. And if you're not available on that time, you can also go back to YouTube, and then all the live video will be on YouTube for you to rewatch, especially some of the material. I think that I would like to go back and watch it again, because I think there are a lot of good information about tea there. And then the second part is more like intense workshop. So when we created Brewing in 2019, we actually aim at Tea 2.0. So not that we are excluding people like just fell into the world of tea, but like we just felt like we want to go to a workshop where we don't need to explain that, okay, oolong is not a green tea. Like we want to go above that level and step into like the more in-depth and more juicy details of the sort of tea that we like to drink. And so we are again inviting like professional of the field that we don't normally have access to, like for example a tea farmer in Yunnan, and he's from the region, and he made tea and it's his family business, so it would be very interesting talking to him. And we invited a Chinese doctor to talk about tea as a herb, and how our body respond to tea, and what should we drink according to the season, things like that. So like Amanda said, the themes are 4 parts. So tea and well-being, tea and food, art of tea, which is like the brewing technique and history and that, and then visiting the tea region. So that will be the pay part of the event. And those 4 different workshops, they will be, on the 24th of October and the 31st of October. And, ticketing will be available, in the next week. So please check out our Facebook page. Yeah. So, so I think that we are, very, very good with time. If you have any questions about tea, about the event, or about us, please feel free to leave a comment. We are live on both YouTube and Facebook. And as you can see, we're actually showing comments on screen. So we would, we'll be answering any questions that you have about anything. And I think that the next part that we have planned is to show a video about how to use the Gaiwan. And this is actually a video I filmed 2.5 years ago with Tanya. And it's very funny watching it again, because I was so conscious of the camera. Hopefully I'm doing better today, so let me know. Yes, and yeah, let's watch that. And excuse me if I like, having some issues sharing my screen. I'm going to let me know if I'm doing it right, Amanda.
Roger.
So
thanks too.
Hi everyone, it's Tanya from Cuppa Cha Tea Channel, the place for those tea addicts and tea lovers to build your tea knowledge.
And in this episode, I have my really good friend, Kaishan from Liberty here at Prahran Markets. She's come in to help me to discuss Gaiwans. Last episode, or in the previous episode, you may remember I talked about Cuppa Cha and developing your own tea pieces and for your own precious tea memories. Now, I wanted to talk about Gaiwans at the time, but quite honestly, yes, I do use them, but I'm not a specialist in that area.
And I wouldn't claim that I am, but yes.
Actually, Kaishan was just saying something about making mistakes earlier to me.
Yeah.
That it's good to make mistakes.
Yes, yeah. My experience of learning about tea is constantly being corrected. And you will find that it's a process of learning something new, and you will have that moment of, oh, okay, I got it. And then just, 2 months down the track, someone else would tell you a revised version. And then you're wrong again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today what we're going to talk about is the Gaiwan. And the Gaiwan is, as well, has a very long history in China. And why I have come to Kaishan is because she has a particular love for the Gaiwan.
Yes.
She also goes back to China regularly and studies under some pretty skilled tea brewers.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I want to say that I prefer using Gaiwan because it's good for tasting and assessing as well.
Yes.
And I do believe that using Gaiwan will enhance different senses, during the tea brewing process. So because, we'll get into it, more in depth later.
Yeah.
But, Gaiwan essentially means, a bowl with a lid.
Yeah.
So if you open the lid, then you'll be able to view the leaves and then, see the color of the liquid as well.
Yeah.
So that's one of the senses. And then also having a wide rim will allow you to smell the tea a lot better. And then passing the lid around.
Oh, we all love the lid.
Yeah, so that's the sense of smell. And
so what we're going to do is we're going to look at 4 parts. First off, we'll look at a quick history of the Gaiwan.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the reasons why Kaishan loves Gaiwans.
Yeah.
We're also going to look at how to use a Gaiwan, how to hold it and pour with it. And the final one is you're going to discuss what to look for when you're purchasing a Gaiwan.
Yeah.
Some tips. So over to you, some history of the Gaiwan.
Yes. So essentially, when Gaiwan was first used, it was just the middle part, which is a bowl. And then maybe 1,000 years ago, I'm not quite sure about the time exactly, a lady was holding the bowl and feel that it was too hot. So she randomly pick up a plate and place the bowl on top of it. And because she came from a wealthy family, and she also find it annoying where the bowl is sliding on the plate. So she had contracted someone to make a plate with a dent in it so the bowl would catch it on, so it won't spill on yourself. So people had started, in the wealthy circle back then, start drinking tea such as this. Yeah, and then eventually they also feel that they should add a lid on it. So, and then the Gaiwan is now complete. So there are 3 parts of the Gaiwan: the bowl, the lid, and the saucer. And in Chinese, we call it San Cai Gaiwan. It means, it all represents something. The lid is the sky, and then the plate is the earth.
The earth, yeah.
Yeah, the bowl is the people. So
people.
This is the universe that we are holding. Yeah, and I find that, really beautiful.
That's lovely.
Yeah. So that's how Gaiwan had come about. And also I would like to touch on that, in Beijing still this day, it was used for, drinking tea, not just for brewing. So even in Beijing, in some of the old tea house, you will find that people will drink tea in the Gaiwan. And I'm going to let Tanya, have some
J spiral in this Gaiwan, as you would in Beijing.
Ah,
Yeah.
so she's game to let me have a go at this.
Yes. So because the leaf is still in the bowl, so when you drink it, it's really hot now. We might do this later.
Yeah.
The key is you brush the leaves aside with the lid, and then it was also used back then to hide your teeth, because you should not be showing your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, to drink.
Yeah.
And also when you're hosting someone and you don't want to ask them to leave, because it's rude to say that, okay, it's time for you to leave, right? So we also used to use the Gaiwan.
That to his guests. He goes, I'm going to bed, see you later.
They also, will put away the Gaiwan or push it aside, means, okay, it's time for you to leave. Yeah, so it's, this is a very important thing in a social setting back then, where, gentle body gesture would suggest, if what you should do next. Yeah.
Subtlety is the word.
Yeah. When you drink, you will do it this way, but if there's a lot of leaves on the top, you will want to brush it away.
I'll brush it away, and then I drink like this.
Yeah.
So you get the aroma and everything at the same time.
So it's primarily used to green tea this way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So the next thing we were going to look at was, why do you like Gaiwan so much?
I touched that on the introduction.
Yeah, you did. Because she gets excited.
Yes. So I like using Gaiwan because, in a tea shop setting, especially for tea tasting, I feel that, firstly, Gaiwan is primarily made with China. So the taste of the tea doesn't get absorbed into the material. So for example, if you use a Yixing for tea tasting, then, if you let the tea leaf sit in the Yixing pot, then the teapot will start smell like that tea, right?
Yeah.
This one, the tea doesn't stay with the bowl. You watch it and then it's ready for the next tea.
Yeah.
And then also, if you brew tea this way, you'll be able to see the leaf, as it unfolds, and you'll be able to smell the aroma a little bit better. And that's why I prefer, to do this, because sometimes I do my cupping in Gaiwan as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you don't have the cupping equipment, Gaiwan is also a very good replacement to do to assess your tea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So then we're going to look at how to use a Gaiwan. Like you've shown me with personal use.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Which you pour away the leaf.
Yeah.
And then you don't watch me drinking it.
Yeah, you hide behind the leaf. Yeah.
That's me being very discreet, yes.
Yes.
But if we were pouring into a fairness cup.
Yes. So I was drinking a Yin De Hong, and that's not it. A Yin De Hong is a black tea from Guangdong province, which is where I'm from. So to show you how to use a Gaiwan, firstly, where you hold the Gaiwan is quite important. If I can show you without the
lid. Should I move over?
Oh, that's okay. So what we want to do is to hold, put your fingers on 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And preferably your hand should be level with the bowl.
6 o'clock and 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
so
level.
Like that.
Yeah.
And it might be a little bit tricky when you're first, holding it, because it doesn't come very natural for me anyway. But over time, you will see that the more level of your hand, the better you can maneuver when the water goes into the fairness cup. And then now I'm going to add the lid.
Yes.
And then, before I going to add the lid, how you place the lid is also very important. You want to leave a very, very small gap for the water to come out. So ideally 2 millimeter.
2 mil? Millimeter, yeah.
Yeah, but you should be able to adjust it. That's a trick that not many people will show, is that your finger holding the top part, you know, you should be able to move it so you can adjust the flow of the water.
Power tip there. Practice moving your finger.
Yes.
Your pointy finger. So
yes.
you can move the lid of the Gaiwan.
Yes. So like, you know, sometimes when you're pulling the water out, you see that, the tea is not strong enough, then you slowly close it so it pull out a little bit slower. So the, you know, the water that come out later will be stronger to adjust, you know, the taste of the tea. Yeah, and that is one of the tricks that you will need to learn before working in a Chinese tea shop back in China.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't want the client to know, I make a mistake, I pick it up too quickly. So I gently close the lid and make the tea stronger.
So I want to know how many tea sommeliers out there actually know that tip about how to use a Gaiwan, because you're not going to get a job in China otherwise.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. So that comes to, you know, my third points in holding the Gaiwan is that a lot of people do that. At first, I'm also doing that.
Yes.
But I feel that it's much better if you just, you know, straighten your finger and point.
Yes.
One is you can control the lid a lot easier.
Yeah.
And two is where your finger is pulling is where you're pointing at is where the water coming out.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like riding a bike. Look where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it gives you a lot more stability.
Stability.
If you just use finger point on the lid. Yeah.
So you don't point at people over there, but you can do it with your finger.
Yeah.
On the side.
Yes.
That's
now, if we're doing, you know, art of brewing, then another tip I will give you is don't raise your elbow as I did when I first started it. As I pick up that, you know, all your arms should be close to your body.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't have to at home. But
it's good practice and good etiquette.
Yes, but when you're pulling teeth, what you want to turn is your wrist.
Okay.
Like that. Then I'll show you.
You know, when I was a little girl growing up, and you learned to use a fork and knife.
Yeah. Oh, also the elbow. Okay.
Elbows were always in, and you know.
Yes.
Oh man, I would get into so much trouble from my mum.
Yeah.
If I had my elbows out and be like elbows in, and you learned to eat like that. It's the same thing.
Same thing. Yes.
There you go.
So, to you know, revisit the few pointers I have. So firstly, place your lid on an angle, leaving a 2 millimeter gap, and then fingers, thumb, and your middle finger place on 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock, and then point to where you want to pull. You know, make sure you hold it steadily, and then turn your wrist.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Good.
That is lovely.
Yeah.
So do I get to try some of that tea?
Yeah, sure.
So now some tips for when
Picking
you're
up.
buying.
Yes, sure. So I think the common fear of handling a Gaiwan is that you might burn yourself.
Yes.
So it's very, very important to pick a Gaiwan that with a wide rim.
Wide rim, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see that this Gaiwan is actually perfect because you see that the edge actually flare out a lot.
Yes.
So, you know, the wider it is,
yes,
then the less likely that the heat will transit. What's the word?
The heat will transfer.
Yeah.
Expand up that high.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, this part would not be hot for you to hold if it's wide. Okay. Another thing you look for is that you want like a taller handle. What do you call this?
Yeah, like a little handle, yeah.
So if it's taller, then you also won't be hurting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And then another tip would be that, buy a Gaiwan that fits your hand. And that's also important. Like the gentleman will probably prefer a bigger Gaiwan. So, but some of the ladies, they have smaller hands. So then I would recommend something smaller, such as 100 ml to 150 ml. But with the gentleman, then I would start with 150 ml to 200 ml Gaiwan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And also very important to find out how big your Gaiwan is, and then you will adjust how much tea you want to put into it accordingly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for fun, I bought a 250 ml Gaiwan here.
That's massive.
Yeah, because I host, meet up here.
Yes.
So sometimes I need to meet a lot of tea. And good thing is, even though my hands are not very big, but I got long fingers, so I can just hold it. Yeah. But the good thing is I use the one, the finger point. So I got a lot of stability here, so I don't need to worry about dropping the lid.
Okay.
Yeah.
So recapping on tips when you're buying your Gaiwan.
Yes.
Look for one that has a really wide brim that flares out.
Yes.
It fits your hand at 9 and 12 o'clock.
6 and 12 o'clock.
6 and 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it has a higher little handle on the lid.
Yeah.
So where the heat is not transferring as well.
Yes.
So you don't overfill your Gaiwans either inside with water, do you?
Yeah, I don't tend to do that because you will burn yourself. But in areas such as Chaozhou and Wuyi Mountain, they do that. And they have fingers of steel. Yes, I saw a lady who she won a lot of awards in tea brewing competition in China. Yes. And she was teaching me how to do Wuyi rock tea brewing with a Gaiwan, where they only use 3 cups. Yes. Because Taiwanese use 6 cups.
Yes.
And one of the processes is you need to fill it to the top. So, there will be some fluff on the top. Yeah. And then you push that away.
I've seen that.
Then, the water will be to the rim. And then she pick it up and start, pouring. And I'm like, oh, your fingers.
You will find a link below to Kaishan's shop, her online shop, or you can come and see her here at Paran Markets here in Melbourne. And thank you for explaining this. This is fun. You have regular meetups, don't you? Once a month?
Yeah, once a month I will host a meetup about anything tea related. Our next meetup is about Yixing Teapot. Yeah. So feel free to check us out on the Melbourne Meetup website.
Yeah, the Melbourne Tea Meetup group, but also you often post to the Facebook group, the Melbourne Tea Club, which I keep promoting all the time. Please join if you live in Melbourne.
Yeah, and you can also follow us on Instagram. That's probably the accounts that I update the most. Please check out our Instagram account. Is at liberty_Melbourne.
Like I said, I'll put a link to that below. So in the meantime, you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you again. Please like and share if you've enjoyed this video. Place a comment below about how you learnt about using a Gaiwan. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Great.
Great video, Kaishan. Really lovely. I think you've muted.
Okay, because I'm using my headphone for the third camera because I will be doing some tea stuff here. And that is why I was muted. But anyway, Sue just then asked about how to say 三才盖碗. So so I just said it. 三 means 3. So the 盖碗is 3 elements. If Amanda can kindly lift up your 三才盖碗 and show. So 三 is the number 3. 才 is the the elements. So it's sky, people, and then the earth, and then the whole Gaiwan together is the universe. Yeah, and so that's one of the questions that pop up. Okay, and I mentioned that I did regularly meet up. I did 2 years ago, not anymore. Now most thing is now online, but I did do a tea event about Chinese New Year with Amanda in the park. So hopefully we'll do some more stuff outdoor, if conditions allow. And the Paran Market store, we no longer have that because, again, COVID. So we have to close that. And then another thing is the Facebook group. So if you haven't already, yes, please follow the Melbourne Tea group because, we share a lot of information there. That's everything I want to clarify about the video. Do you have any questions about what we talk about in Gaiwan? Or do you want to add anything, Amanda?
No, I learnt a lot though with how to place your fingers and how to buy Gaiwan. Luckily, yep, this one's not too bad.
They look good. Yeah, they look good.
It's nice and tall here, so I won't burn my fingers.
Yes. So, like I said, we are going to brew some Liubao, and Amanda got some of my Liubao, I think. And in one of our meetings, she was just talking about how she didn't know too much about the history of Liubao, and she didn't know that it was actually what was your question again? I don't want to try to, paraphrase you.
So I was learning a little bit about pu'er, shu pu'er that's post-fermented, and it told me that when they were researching on how to fast track the aging of the pu'er, they looked at a few different ways of how they used to age teas, and it said that Liubao suited pu'er the best. But I didn't really understand this comment, not realizing the history with Liubao and how it's basically the father of how they then fermented tea a little bit later. But I'll let you explain the exact.
Yes. So the history of show pu'er is a very interesting one. And actually, the history of pu'er is a very interesting one, and it would take an hour for me to explain it properly. But basically, it was like, lots of pu'er was made, and like, any commodities, you can overproduce. And then things got left behind. And then especially a few hundred years ago, people in China were already migrating, and a lot of them migrate to Malaysia. And they tend to take a lot of tea with them because, they don't adjust to the diet in Malaysia very well. So they need tea to digest and stuff. And that's why, during the Civil War, and then, China become a ruin. And there was not much tea there, but there were a whole lot of pu'er in Malaysia. And they were all age. And then, but eventually that stash does run out, and then people start to come back to China and say, hey, do you have this pu'er that is black in color? And people in China were scratching their heads black color pu'er? What are you talking about? So, and then the new China, need to make some, money, as in foreign currency. So, the government established research team to find out how to ferment pu'er properly because they want to sell a lot of it. And one of the team went to Guangdong, which is my hometown, and they have found out they have been fermenting Liubao for hundreds of years, and potentially we can do that with pu'er as well. And that was maybe late 80s or late 70s. I'm really bad with numbers, so please forgive me if I said it wrong, but it would be around that time frame, like 70s or 80s, and then they just start to use this new technology to ferment pu'er. So you can say that Liubao is the father of show pu'er. Does that make sense? And I just want to go back to Kristen's question. So Gaiwan has all sorts of materials, but I think that people prefer to make it out of porcelain. Yeah, so you can find some clay, Gaiwan as well, but I think it defeats the purpose because Gaiwan, because it has a lid and then it's wide rim, so temperature drop really quickly with the Gaiwan. So if you use a clay, in material, and the clay is, what it is good at doing is to preserve temperature, then if you want to use the Gaiwan to brew something that you want to cool down quickly, then it won't work really well. Does that make sense? But you can make Gaiwan with any materials. I even see Yixing Gaiwan before, and then I'm like, why? So Jordan here said that there are silver ones. Yes, if you are, you don't need to worry about fund. Yes, there are also just a porcelain Gaiwan where they line it with silver, so that is a little bit cheaper. Okay. Kristen said that something affecting the taste of the tea, but I do need you to elaborate because I don't know what you mean. What can affect the taste of the tea? But if you're talking about silver, yes. Amanda has a Gong Dao Bei that has silver in it, so Amanda might be able to tell you, if her tea tastes better with the silver Gong Dao Bei.
I do like it very much. I don't know if I'm up to that level where I could tell you the difference. Yeah. Mind you, I haven't had it side by side either.
You should totally do an experiment with that.
I think, yeah, for sure. I couldn't tell you. It probably does, but I'd have to do a blind taste and see.
Yeah. So I do find that water coming out of silverware tastes a little bit more pure and sweet. So it definitely, do something with just pure water. And a lot of my tea teachers have silver teapot. So I think that is ideal if you don't worry about fun. Silver teapot, even gold teapot is really sought after. It's really good, and also if you have really good quality tea, otherwise it wouldn't make a difference. And yeah, I think we should, with the time, we should move into the brewing. But Amanda, if you can help me showing the rest of the comments so everyone can follow the conversation we are having, and I will start, moving into the tea. So just want to show you what we're brewing today. Oh, where's my camera? Yeah. So this is my Liubao. Can you see? Here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I think that the second time, I will eventually get better at doing this. This is the first time I'm using this device. So this is a Liubao. As you can see, the material is really rough, and then there's a bit of a, chagen, which is like, in Japanese you would call it cookie chop. But it's actually ideal, this gives extra flavor, and also it's very sweet. And for all dark tea, well, from my experience, and some people may not agree, is that you need rough material. Like you need to pick, 3 or 4 leaves, So to explain it, majority of the, of the picking at the moment is like these 2 leaves. But to make dark teas, you go 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 down the track. And that is ideal for, fermentation. So I would say that, if you're looking for dark tea and you see some tweet, it's actually a good sign. But some people will be like, oh no, that's only. Anyway, and let's warm up the pot. Are you brewing, Amanda?
I am brewing.
Beautiful.
I'll just let you know, Kirsten said that you answered her question. By the time that you read her clarification, you'd already answered it. So you're good there.
Okay.
And Sue has said, I used to drink Liubao all the time, especially Wuzhou Tea Factory. Is there a specific region or brand you prefer?
So much like Pu'er is supposed to be from Yunnan, the Liubao should be from Guangxi, next to Guangdong. And yes, it should be from Wuzhou. Wuzhou is the best. And then Liubao is actually the town that made this. So Pu'er was a town where all the tea from Yunnan, all over Yunnan, would go into this little city or a little tea hub, for people to exchange tea, buy and sell. It's like a wholesale market. Once upon a time in Pu'er, Liubao was the town in south of China for tea exchange and buy and sell and stuff like that. So the tea is actually named after the town, if that makes sense. For me, for any fermented tea, I like to go with the big brand, which is Zhongcha. Zhongcha originally was government owned, but not anymore. They actually, in the effort to continue the tea business, they join forces with different tea plantation and tea factories, and so they have a really big connected network of resources, and then that's why they are able to exchange information. For example, having the technology in fermenting Liubao and move it to Yunnan and start doing that over there. So they have a really mature, knowledge, I would say, or technology in making tea, and also a lot of good tea professionals, working there. But for oolong or shampoo, it's a different story. Then you can go for like smaller company. So is anyone brewing tea at the moment, or just the 2 of us?
Now, Sue asked, what's it called again? Zhongcha Tea Company.
Yes. So ZHONG. So Zhong means middle. China means China in Chinese means 中国, also middle. So 中茶 is like tea of China. Yes, Jordan, you're right.
Yes.
That's it. We have some really knowledgeable people here, I think.
And Bimini's brewing some Lapsang Souchong tonight.
Oh, nice. Lapsang is another favorite topic of mine. It's got so much history, but we can talk about it another night. I actually had a team meet up about Lapsang back in 2019, I think, or 2018. I don't remember. So teas May, I wasn't doing much talking. Can you see the color? It's pretty dark. And cheers, guys. Thank you for joining us. We have 10 minutes until the end of this live show. I don't want to make it too long because yeah, because it's our first, and I think that both me and Amanda just was talking about how nervous we were before jumping live. But I hope that is all going well for you guys. Yeah, feel free to ask questions now because in 5 minutes time we're going to close the session. And let's see. Sue is drinking water right now. What kind of water are you drinking, Sue? That can be another big topic.
Very important for tea.
Yeah, we did a water workshop in 2019 about using different tea with different mineral level. Yeah. I just think that people who is interested in tea, like they can find something and then make a thing out of it. It was a wonderful workshop.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry to hear about your teeth operation. But apparently, I heard that drinking tea helps with your teeth. Like it will stain it, but it will prevent cavity. That's a research that I saw. If anyone know more about that, please let me know. But at the moment, that's what I believe. Can you use the Gaiwan for cold brew, also for Kristen? Yeah, why not? But then I won't be satisfied. I need something bigger for cold brew, especially cold brew. Like I normally leave it 6 to 12 hours. I think if I just put in the Gaiwan, it would be a lot of time for very little tea. Can you sleep okay after drinking tea at this time? If it's a Liubao, yes, because fermented tea, the caffeine level is very low. So it wouldn't affect me too much, but ideally, no. Yeah, so I'll be mostly drinking Shopua or Liubao. And another tea that you can drink is like the very, very old pu'er tea, like over 20 years. In age, you can drink that as well because by then the tea has changed. Oh, thank you, Jordan, for your words of encouragement. We will keep doing it. Yay! So you're drinking Yava River water? Are you kidding me? Are you joking or are you serious? Okay, like I think that we need to invite Sue to come in sometime to talk about Yarra River water.
No, she said boiled Melbourne. She's rescinded. Okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but like I think that we're very lucky in Melbourne because the tap water, the quality of it is actually so good. We use in Melbourne we use rainwater, It's very ideal for tea brewing, unlike Brisbane. Yeah. Well, I heard that laughing is a very good painkiller, so you should laugh more, Kristen, even though your teeth. Ah. Anyway, do you have any more questions about Liubao? I don't think I will brew another one. I think that I will just enjoy the exchange of information here. Or if you have any questions about the tea festival, please let me know. Maybe I'll do another one. So the Liubao I'm drinking at the moment is from Zhongcha. It's from 2017. You know, sorry to put in a little bit advertisement here, but if you're interested in trying what I'm drinking, it is available on my website, and it's leafstory.com.au. I put it here. And the reason why I recommend Zhongcha is Zhongcha will follow the national guideline for tea making. So if you are following a private label, they may not put it in the cellar to age it for 3 years. So if you buy it from Zhongcha, they have to age it after the fermentation for 3 years in the cellar before they can put it in the market to sell it. So you know when you get it from Zhongcha, it's already been aged for 3 years, you know, and it's ready to be consumed. Yes, Kristen, please do share our post, because I think that that's the best way to reach people, because we would really need your help to share on social media so more people can join in. And I'm asking you to do this not just to promote the event, because we have, like I said, 10 tea vendors, one international, but all the rest of them, the rest of the 9 vendors are all local. And the reason why we do the tea festival is that we want to grow the community, and we want to encourage more people to drink pure leaf tea in Australia, and to, you know, dive deeper with us into the tea world. So, you know, if you can, please do share our, you know, Facebook, YouTube, yeah, so more people can join into our live event. Oh, thank you, Sue. Now you know, like I said, follow, share, and then our next live event is the next Thursday, the 23rd. You know, it will be me again. Sorry, guys. If you want to see me again, because I'm making myself like, you know, the white mice or something like that to try out the live. So but on Saturday next week will be Tanya. We'll be talking about Taiwanese tea. And yeah, so September 23rd, the coming Thursday, it will be me featuring a leaf story talking about small pot tea, as in teapot that is quite small, you know. When I talk about small pot tea, I'm actually referring to Kung Fu Cha, but in a more modern sense for Kung Fu Cha. And yeah, like I said, Tanya is going to talk about Taiwanese tea, and we talk more about that, you know, in the next session. And if it go well, you know, we might attempt another live on the Saturday showing a tea documentary. You know, we will do a poll on our social medias and see if anyone want to watch a documentary with us live, just so that we can get familiar with the, you know, the streaming and the technology and the stuff. And then we can talk about the documentary if, you know, you want.
We've lost you. Kaishan, you've got to turn your microphone back on.
Hi.
There you go.
Sorry, guys.
That aroma that's coming off.
My mic is not working. Wait. I think, yeah, that's everything for today.
Yes, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate your support and watching us fumble through our very first tea session.
Yeah, sorry about the,
learning for us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a learning process for me, like turning off the device and not to get tripped with the wire here. Anyway, yes. I think that would be everything that I want to cover today. So follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, spread the word, leave a comment if you have any more questions. Tell us what you want to talk about in our live sessions, and we will cover it. And we want this to be as interactive as possible. And we look forward to seeing you definitely next Thursday. But if we can, if we got enough interest to stream a documentary on Saturday, we will do that as well. So we get the live TV going.
Yeah, and I'll just quickly mention that our Facebook marketplace has all of the teas that all of the vendors are going to be showcasing. So if you see any that you really are interested in, you can buy them and then you can brew along at the same time while getting tips. So it might be worth doing that if you're interested.
That's a very, very good thing to mention. So yeah, all of the tea we'll be brewing in the live TV will be available in the marketplace.
Yeah, our tea collection.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Oh, Sue. Yeah, we got one vote for watching documentary. We will do a poll soon. And okay, I'll try to look for that one to talk about why convenience enhances Assamica is called Assamica, even though majority of them will grow in Yunnan. I will try to look for that tea documentary for you guys.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I think that's everything. Thank you, guys. And I'm very grateful for you to be joining us tonight. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.